Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Was going to come out and do some work on the truck. We were going to do the front shocks on the truck and do a few other things, but when I came out and took a look at the truck, I noticed some fluid on the ground, and I've got a coolant leak coming from the radiator. I thought it was the lower hose, but it doesn't look like it's coming from the hose. I think the radiator itself is leaking. So I'm going to drain the fluid and pull the radiator out and see if we can't figure out where that's coming from. While the truck's down, we are going to go ahead and put the Belltech front shocks on the truck. And there was a few other things I was going to do to the truck, but this is kind of taking priority. The other day I did do spark plugs and MSD spark plug wires. I didn't feel like filming that. I was just trying to get it knocked out and get it out of the way. I was going to go over that in today's video, which I still am. This is going to be fix the radiator and do the front suspension type video. The title's going to be adding the Belltech shocks, but it's going to have this in it too, just because of what happened. This is kind of my daily driver. I drive this daily instead of putting a bunch of miles on the Corvette. So the weather's going to be nice the next couple of days, so I'll be able to drive the Vet while I get this figured out. But with that being said, guys, we're going to hop right into it, and we're going to get this radiator out. All right, guys, stay tuned. Alright guys, I've already kind of done a little bit. There was a plastic shroud that was over the top of the radiator, and there were two bolts holding these brackets in. I thought this was the culprit. You know guys, I did a video a little bit ago about how you can pick up one of these trucks cheap. One that's already swapped, but there's some pros and cons to it. Some of the cons is going to be stuff like this. I mean, I'm not going to call the person that did this an idiot, but I mean, you're pretty stupid to make a bracket for a radiator and then grind down the edge to where it's sharp, to where it could puncture the radiator. That in my book is just stupid. This is just stuff that you're going to run into when you buy a truck that's already modified. Not always. Sometimes you get lucky and you buy a truck from someone that did quality work on it. But this truck, like I said, when I went and looked at it, I saw that there were shortcuts already. So I knew that I would find more of this, and that's the reason why I got the truck so cheap. Like I said, I paid $11,000 for this truck. Just in receipts, I've got $15,000 in receipts just from the motor swap, all the performance parts, the brand new transmission. So I knew the truck had some good stuff, but I knew I was going to have to work some things out. And man, I don't know if you guys can tell how sharp that is. They literally grinded it down to a like a knife. So this bracket is sitting like this on the radiator, and the radiator moves, it's bumping up against this, and that's what I thought was causing it, because I do have a little bit of radiator fluid in the fins up here, so I do think it's leaking there, but I don't think that's the cause of the major leak that I've got. I've got a pretty bad leak to where it's dripping pretty good. But we're going to do something about this. I'm either going to grind these down and flatten it out, or I'm going to make something my own. I don't know, this is just pretty janky on how they did that. I'm going to probably come up with something to put back on there and not reuse these, because that's just asking for trouble right there. So we're going to get rid of these. Even this one, like I said, they literally grinded it down and made it sharp like a knife. So I don't know whoever did this, if they were like mad at the guy and they were like, man, we're going to screw this guy over. That's just stupid. I don't know why you would put a sharp edge. And like this one here had some foam on it, so I give them props there, trying to do a little bit of something. But this piece right here has no foam on it. It's just stupid in my book. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the smartest person in the world. My dad has a favorite saying: if you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough, and I lived by that. So I have the right to call someone stupid, because I've been stupid myself a few times. But like I said, I was letting this run, guys, to let it build up pressure to see if I could figure out where it's leaking. It's still hot, so we're going to give this a minute to cool down. While I'm doing that, I am going to kind of bounce back and forth. I'm going to go and pull the wheels off. I believe this truck has the stock shocks on it. The guy that I bought the truck from, the truck was already lowered when he bought it. All this work was done when I bought this truck from the guy, other than he put a new transmission in it and a new torque converter in it. And he didn't physically do the work himself. He paid a shop to do it. But he bought the truck already swapped from what he told me his boss. So his boss apparently owned this truck before him, and his boss was the one that did all the work to it and then sold it to him. And he had it, from the Carfax, he had it less than a year. I'm guessing this truck had some issues, and because he said he put a new transmission in it because the transmission went out, and he put a new torque converter in it. I think that guy just had some bad luck with the truck and put a bunch of money in it that he wasn't expecting to do. And I think that's one reason why he was wanting to get rid of it, because he wasn't a very mechanically inclined person. Definitely don't think he would be in here turning wrenches. He would just take it to a shop, which is a good thing and can be a bad thing, because I don't know what shop he was taking it to. Sometimes taking it to a shop is just as bad as someone working on it that doesn't know what they're doing, because most of the time some of these shops, when it comes to these swaps and stuff, they don't take the time to do the research. And there's some stuff on this truck that is shortcutted for sure. So, but that was the whole purpose of buying it. It was content. This way I can get down and show you guys, you know, how to do certain things, how to fix some things. And plus it was a learning experience for me. You know, I haven't built trucks or anything super crazy. I'm just your average Joe mechanic, where I've just, you know, I've had trucks over the years or cars over the years where I've modified them and stuff, and I've just learned as I've gone. So this in a way is a learning process for me, and also a learning process for you guys. So, you know, so I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride and make good content with the truck. I don't know if you guys can see if I can turn the camera around here, and I'll show you while we're letting it cool. See if I can remember how to use this tripod here. You can see the spark plug wires right there. So I did the red MSD. They look really good. The other ones I had were just all black. So I threw those on there, and some nice NGK spark plugs. I also was able to reroute the intake. I was having an issue with intake temps. I did there for a while have the intake ran this way, and the problem with that is the hood was pushing down on it and was causing it to hit this pulley on the alternator. So I then got rid of the pipe altogether and just stuck it right here on the end of the throttle body. And the issue I was having with that is it was breathing in all this hot air from the radiator. So I put the pipe back on, rolled it back over to this side, and my intake temps are staying anywhere between depending on what the temperature is outside, anywhere between 60 and 100, around 100 degrees. A couple of days we had down here where it was pretty hot, it did get up around like 110. But I like to see the intake temps somewhat around like what the outside air temperature is. That's kind of really where you want it to be. But another issue I'm having is when I run it this way, it's now running over the radiator hose. So I'm getting some heat from that, which I was going to buy some some heat wrap to wrap around the radiator hose right here to try to keep the heat down. But the end goal is to run it back over here to this far side on the passenger side. The factory air box sat on that side, and I don't know if you guys can see in the film or not, there's a hole over here in the fender. Yeah, you guys can see it. There's a hole over here in the fender, and this is where the factory air box sat, and it hooked up to here, and there's fresh air that comes up in here. So what I would like to do is buy a cold air system for the original motor for this truck, put the box here, and then make my own custom piping to run over here to the throttle body to get the best, you know, intake temps. That's the plan. If I don't do that, what I'll probably do is I'll just buy like a cold air intake for like a 99 to 2007 Silverado, and then I'll just custom modify the box that comes in and just put it over here in this corner. That's kind of my idea. You know, just kind of trying to work out a few things, and I just hadn't had time to order the kit or figure out which way or which direction I was going to go with that. But I think I have a picture on my phone of a guy that did that setup where I was talking about buying a cold air intake for this truck, originally for this truck, that will mount over there, and he made his own piping. He bought a intake piping kit off like eBay or something and routed his own piping. They basically come out here, made a 90-degree turn, and then made another 90-degree turn, and then he put an elbow like this. So it come out here, turned, come over here, back this way, and turned into there. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I just think that it's going to work the best. And you can get, I think his kit was from Air Aid maybe, or I can't remember which company it was that the box, but it was an enclosed box, and it hooked up to that little hole over there in the fender, so that way you're getting nice, good, cool air, and you're keeping all the heat soaked down on it. But with that being said, guys, while this is cooling down, I'm gonna get to pulling these wheels off, and we'll take a look at the suspension. Yep, just like I expected. Looks like the stock suspension on this thing. That's not a good thing. I was hoping this thing was lowered. The back is lowered pretty good. It's lowered with a flip kit with shackles, lowering shackles, and it has the C-notch in it. The front looks like maybe a lowering spring. I hope they didn't cut it. I'll tell you this, the bump stop is completely destroyed. I'm thinking they might have cut the spring. I can't really tell. Looks like I might be buying a lowering kit for the front of this thing. Alright guys, what I'm doing is I'm looking for some sort of brand name on this spring, and I am not seeing any kind of brand name on the spring. That has me a little worried. Ball joints definitely need grease, for sure. I don't really know how this is lowered, guys. I don't. That's got me worried. We do have Dirty Dingo motor mounts. I'm seeing that, so that's nice. Like I said, there's some nice parts on this truck, but then there's some stuff that's just done half-ass, and I don't understand how there's so much like nice stuff, but then again there's so much shitty stuff. You know, I was always taught do it right, do it light, do it wrong, do it long. So you know, I just, you know, here I am now, I'm having to chase all this shit down. If the person would have just done it right the first time, you know, one, he could have got more money for the truck, and two, it would be saving me a bunch of headaches. You know, guys, I don't know how to tell if this is a drop spindle or not. I don't really know. It looks shorter. Alright guys, I was able to get the top nut off the top of the shock. One tip to help you with that is to let the suspension dangle and put pressure down on that nut. I was able to zip it off with the impact almost all the way to the top. And then once I got it to the top, I just put a pair of channel locks right on the top of it. There's no threads, you know, a little bit of no threads right there at the top. Can't speak. So I just bit down on that, and then put me an open wrench and just turned it the last couple of turns, and got it up to the top, and was able to just tighten it with my hand. So that was pretty easy. But now we're gonna work on the two bolts on the bottom, get the shock pulled out, and we'll get that new one put in. All right, guys, stay tuned. Alright guys, like I said, these look like the factory just by the age and the rust on them. I'm pretty sure these are the factory ones. You guys let me know in the comments if you know if these are the factory shocks on here. Alright guys, so this is the one I just pulled off. This is the new Belltech Street Performance. As you can see, they're very similar in length. This one seems to be just a tad bit longer. So if you guys know if this is the factory shock or not, let me know. There is some numbers down here. I might try to look that up. I'm thinking these are the factory ones and these are going to be the aftermarket ones. These are definitely a lot thicker, but I was thinking that these were supposed to be a little shorter, which they are a tad bit shorter. So man, they look about the same length actually. But anyways, we're gonna get to putting these on, guys. So just bear with me. I just wanted to show you guys the difference in these, but they look pretty similar. But these are probably definitely worn out. I was having an issue with bottoming out and stuff, and these seem to be the factory shocks. So let's get these new ones put on. Just to show you guys, basically what you want to do is, you know, this will come threaded on like that. You'll take it off. You'll pull the bushing and the washer off. You'll slide it up in the hole. You'll take this, slide the bushing and the washer back on, and then put your nut back on. Just like that. So that's what I was talking about. Also, when I was taking it off, I can't remember before my battery died if I went over that. But this, see if we can get it to focus here. If you can see that top part right there, that's where I put the channel locks, not vice grips, but the channel locks, or vice grips, I guess that's what you could call them. Channel locks, not vice grips. But anyways, this is where I put the vice grips on there. Clamp down on there. There's a little groove, as you can tell, it's cut out right there, and was able to put an open inch or open can't speak today, guys. I was able to put an open wrench on there and just turn it and get it off fairly easy. But like I said, if you let the suspension down, it'll pull on that nut and you'll be able to get it almost all the way off without having to do that. Some guys get lucky and are able to pull it all the way off. I was able to get it right up here to the top. And like I said, I just had to use some vice grips, clamp down on that, and then use an open wrench to get it turned off the rest of the way. It was fairly easy, didn't have any troubles. But with enough of that, let's just get this stuff put on, and then that way I can move on to the radiator. I'm starting to lose daylight, so let's get to it. That's it for the driver's side. We're going to move over to the passenger side and get that one knocked out. This is a fairly easy process. One bolt on the top, 2 bolts on the bottom, shock pulls out. You just got to make sure you put the bushings and all that right in the back in the right place. I did run into one issue. Everything fit but the dust cover. This part of the dust cover was too wide to fit through the bottom control arm. So I don't know why that is. There was no other way for me to get this on. I couldn't go through the shock, or I mean through the spring to get it slid back on. You know, my Vikings coilovers, they didn't have any kind of dust shield on it. It's probably good to have it, but I don't know if it's necessarily a necessity. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why that wouldn't fit through the bottom of that hole. So these didn't come with any directions, so I just took the dust cover off. I don't think it's really that important. Might be. If you think it's important, leave it in the comments and tell me why. But we're gonna move over to the other side and get that side knocked out. I'm not gonna show you guys that side. There's really no sense in showing the same process over. So I'm gonna get on the other side, get that side knocked out, and then start pulling this radiator, and I'll show you the process on that. All right, stay tuned. All right, guys, as you can see, I've got the radiator pulled. I'm in the process of trying to get the fans off the front. I'm not seeing any damage. I'm not sure if that bottom hose is the problem. I might take the radiator somewhere and have it pressure checked and just see if it is leaking. I can't figure out where it could be leaking from. When I had it in the truck and the truck was running, I was looking for leaks coming from, you know, maybe one of the whatever you call it, where the coolant flows through. I couldn't see anything. I just seen it was dripping from the bottom. But I couldn't see that it was dripping from the hose either, so that's one thing that I was confused about. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna need to do, because this is crazy how they have it. I'm having to cut all these fucking clips now. It's just even more bullshit I gotta deal with.
Yeah, that was one thing I liked about my radiator. I put in the Camaro. The fans were already pre-wired up, and it come with the fan shroud. All I had to do was drill holes and mount it to the shroud.
Yeah. All right then. Well,
I wish I know you can buy that shroud separate. You just need to know how big your radiator is, like how wide the opening is.
Yeah, but how are these fans gonna mount? I don't understand how the fans would mount to a shroud.
I'll send you pictures of my Camaro, and that's the best way I can show you how to do it.
All right, well that'll work. Just holler at me later. I'm gonna get to doing this before it gets dark on me.
All right, love you, Chris.
All right, love you too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So what I was saying is there was like a tab. These slide through. These are the washers that go on the back side. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen. Oh, shit, it looks like they twist out. No. Yeah, I think you have to cut them. I think once you put them on, you have to cut them. They work kind of like a zip tie. So, yeah, it just goes in, and then you got a tab on the other side, and it's holding the radiator, and it pushes in. So it kind of works like a zip tie. It's kind of the design. That's why it won't pull out. So I think pretty much you have to cut them. Unless there's another way to get them out. But anyways, we're gonna buy some new ones or figure out another way to mount that. But I'm gonna go have the radiator pressure checked. Probably just go ahead and replace all the hoses while I'm doing it. And hopefully, you know, that should fix the problem. So, got the shocks on, guys, so we can't really do a test drive. But we're gonna get this fixed. We're gonna replace that bottom radiator hose, get the radiator pressure checked to make sure it's good, and go from there. But I'll get this video posted, go on and get it up, and then I'll have a following video showing me put the radiator back in, and we'll take this thing for a test drive with the new shocks on it. I am excited about the new shocks. Truck should ride 10 times better. Those look like original shocks. If you guys have any ideas, I know I didn't get any close-up shots of the suspension, but I'm not sure how this thing's lowered. The springs didn't look cut, so I'm thinking it might have drop springs on it and drop spindles. And they just kept the original shocks, or whatever kit they bought like some cheap shocks. I don't know, but hopefully this will help improve the ride. With that being said though, guys, I'm gonna go on and get cleaned up, get my hands washed. The wife's got some chili cooked, so I'm gonna go in here and get some food. But guys, we'll catch you the next time. My brother in Tennessee should be coming out with a video. I know he went to my uncle's house. Well, he said he was gonna go to my uncle's house, and my uncle's building a, I believe it's a 1972 split bumper Camaro. I can't remember the year, but it's a split bumper. He's doing a Pro Touring style build on it. It's going to be a really cool car, and he gets it done. Daniel said he was going to go over there and do some filming. They were going to put some, they were doing something to the car, doing some new corner panels or something like that. I can't remember what he said they were doing. But if he did go over there, should be a video of that coming out. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to go on and head in, get cleaned up. Keep an eye out for the second video on this, getting the radiator fixed and put back in. And I'll probably show where I'm going to remount the how I'm going to remount the fans, and we're going to add that little plug so I can disconnect it anytime I have to have the radiator back out. But with that being said, guys, we'll catch you next time. All right, guys.